welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we are going to have plenty more Barça news coming your way as we are going to be discussing the very latest on the Barça Negreira case and especially the positive updates that we've received over the past 24 hours. We're also going to be getting to the bottom of this Gavi situation, what is happening right now with his contract, and is there any need for panic or concern at this stage? And there have been yet more words from Javier Tebas against Joan Laporta. Yes, more. And we're going to be discussing it all today, right here on the channel. So come on, and let's do it. But I do want to begin, first of all, by talking about Yannick Carrasco, who, of course, is a player there that Barça were very heavily linked with back in the January transfer window, and especially during the negotiations that we were having with Atleti over the Memphis Depay deal. Now, back then, although Barça weren't able to agree that January move, the club did manage to insert a buy option in case we wanted to sign Carrasco in the coming summer transfer window. And I mention this right now because it's interesting. Because back then we were led to believe that buy option would be worth around 20 million euros if Barca did want to sign Carrasco this summer. But right now, and with new reports emerging this week, the media are now talking about 9 million euros, which is a big difference there, less than half of what we believed for Carrasco. Now, it depends on which reports you're reading as to how that's interpreted, because some of those sources say that 9 million is the buy option, that the option that we hold with Atleti is worth only 9 million. Others say that would be Barca's offer. That's as high as we'd be willing to go, 9 million euros. But I think either way, it's much better than 20. And I'm just wondering, how are you feeling about that right now? Xavi seems to be a big admirer of Carrasco. He seems to have a plan there as to where he'd fit into his team, into his squad. We know that Carrasco is a really versatile player too, and that he'd be absolutely desperate to join, as he was back in January. But I want to know here today, would you spend 9 million on him? Is that a price that you'd be willing to pay, or are there better options out there? Let me know in the comments down below. But if we do now move on to the very latest on the Barça Negreira case and the investigation that, of course, is being carried out into this situation by the prosecutor's office, which, by the way, when it was originally announced that they were going to look into this situation, you had every possible media outlet arriving there with their big headline. Everybody wanted a piece of that news. Everybody couldn't wait to write about that. But let me just say, now that it's emerged, the big news this week, or it should be big news, is that the prosecutor's office has found no evidence that Negreira influenced referees or results in Barcelona's favour. So they found no evidence at all that the payments to Negreira were anything related there to influencing referees. Now, have you seen that news everywhere? Have people been rushing to report this latest update? No, they haven't. They simply haven't done. Because as reported there by EFE in the Spanish media, when the house of a former Barca director was actually searched by the police there, they actually found refereeing reports in that house. These were in the form, apparently, of video footage there of Barcelona players reacting to certain refereeing decisions. So basically there, it was a video showing maybe what we were doing wrong in terms of the way that we were reacting. You know, when certain referees are in charge of a game, they all go about things differently. And if you react in the wrong way, if you step out of line, you're going to be punished for that. Which again, this is exactly the kind of thing that Barca say that they were paying for. They wanted analysis. They wanted insight when it comes to referees. And apparently there were also 2 further documents that were found. One of those was a full report on the referee, Gil Manzano, and another was a full report on Mattia Lahoz. Both of those were complete then with Negreira's technical analysis on the 2 of those referees, and again, that would align with what Barca have been saying about the Negreira payments being strictly there for reports, for information on referees, and not for any influence. Because look, guys, if you've ever watched a match that has been refereed by either of Gil Manzano or Mattia Lahoz, forget about writing a document, forget about writing a report on them. I could probably write a whole book. I could give you an entire Netflix docuseries on these 2, and that is why you can understand why a club like Barca at the very top level, where the margins are so fine, where something so small can make a big difference, you'd attempt to gain every possible bit of information that you can. Any anything to help us understand the curious minds of La Liga referees. So Barca right now getting some positive news on the Barça Negreira case. However, that is not going to stop Javier Tebas. No. That is not going to stop him talking, because even after this news emerged, by the way, these quotes now are after we've heard these latest developments, Javier Tebas came out with the following quote. And it's extraordinary again, like I say, that he's going to these lengths. He said the best thing for the Spanish Federation to do is to remove Joan Laporta from his position as the Barca president. He said rather than Laporta resigning, it should be Rubiales who dismisses him. So Tebas once again calling on Laporta to be removed as Barca president, and it's just unbelievable. We've spoken about this before. This is a man who openly defended, even praised Bartomeu for his time as Barca president. He thought Bartomeu in charge of Barca was fantastic, but when it comes to Laporta, he can't stand it. He desperately wants Laporta out of Barca, and it's that desperation which, for all of us Barcelona fans, that actually gives us confidence. Because if Javier Tebas doesn't like what Joan Laporta is doing at Barca, it almost certainly means that Laporta is doing a good job for us, that he is defending this club's honour. And I genuinely believe, guys, that even if Javier Tebas' life depended on it, he could not go a day without talking about Barca. Which, speaking of that exact fact, brings us on now to Gavi's contract situation and everything right now surrounding this. Because over the past few months, Barca have been in a real battle with their own league, surprise, surprise, to register the renewal of one of the brightest young talents in the world. And it's just staggering that we're at this point here, whereby a player that La Liga should be celebrating. They should be grateful and over the moon that a player like Gavi is in their league, is coming through in their division, but instead they want to make it difficult for him to stay here. They want to put up barriers to try and prevent Barca from keeping him in the long term, because La Liga say that Barca missed the deadline to register Gavi's renewal when we made him a first-team player back in September of 2022. Now, it's very convenient, though, that that very rule there that La Liga are pointing to, that rule was changed 1 month after Gavi's renewal. So they are effectively saying right now that we missed a deadline which, when this renewal took place, wasn't even there. It didn't exist. They have created a rule and are now punishing Barca for something that happened before it was even changed. Which means that after Barca's latest appeal against La Liga has been rejected, Gavi has now been forced to return to his original youth contract as a Barcelona B player in order to still be registered and continue to play in La Liga. So he's still available, he can still play, but he's under that old youth contract. And it's unbelievable that it's come to this. And what this means now is that Gavi can only be registered on that brand new first team deal come the summer, only once we're able to reduce our wage bill and are eligible then to register new contracts in La Liga. But what I would just like to say about this, guys, is please stay calm, because with Barca, as we know, there is so much scaremongering in the media. When it comes to Barca, you're going to hear now, Gavi's going to be leaving in the summer. Gavi's available for free. Barca won't be able to keep hold of him. Barca won't be able to register him. Barca are in trouble. We've heard all of these things before. Think about last summer, when people constantly told us we couldn't do things, and we managed to achieve it. The board know what they're doing at this club. They have proven that now. They have a plan in place for the summer to reduce the wage bill and to get players registered. I've got absolutely no doubt here that Gavi is going to be registered on that new deal that he signed. And don't forget as well that he wants to be here. This is where he wants to be. He signed a renewal. He wanted to pledge his future to this club, and he is going to be here long term. We are going to make sure that Gavi remains at this club, no matter what obstacles La Liga put in our way. We'll keep our best talents. We'll keep moving forward, and we will rise to the very top. So that right there, guys, is a full update right now on what is happening at Barca. There is lots going on. There always seems to be. But do not fear. We will find a way through it. We have to put our trust in those who are leading the club. They have a plan, and we will get through this. Make no mistake, and please do let me know in the comments down below what you're feeling right now about these ongoing situations, the Barça Negreira case, and also your thoughts on Gavi's contract situation. I will, of course, see you soon, where there will be more videos to come. we will keep pushing and nobody can hold us back. I'll see you soon, guys. Thank you indeed for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.